Welcome back to the Real Bio Protocol. Cold open, your testosterone levels came back normal. Your doctor smiled, handed you the lab results, and told you nothing's wrong. But here's what he didn't tell you. That normal range he's comparing you to, it was quietly rewritten. Twice. In 1980, if your testosterone came back at 400 nanograms per deciliter, your doctor would have looked you in the eye and said you need treatment. Today, that same 400 puts you smack in the middle of healthy. Nothing changed about your biology. Nothing changed about what testosterone actually does in your body. The only thing that changed was the number on a piece of paper. And that number wasn't changed by scientists trying to help you. It was changed by insurance companies trying to deny you. You're not crazy. You're not lazy. You're not just getting older. You're being gaslighted by a reference range that was designed to make your suffering invisible. ACT1 the problem. Let's talk about what's actually happening to men right now. You're tired all the time. Your motivation is gone. You can't build muscle no matter how hard you train. Your libido disappeared somewhere around your 30th birthday and never came back. You finally work up the courage to ask your doctor about testosterone, and he runs the labs. A week later, you're sitting in his office and he's telling you everything looks fine. Your testosterone is 380. Reference range says 264 to 916. You're in range. Case closed. Go home. Maybe try exercising more. But here's what your doctor didn't learn in medical school. That reference range, it's not based on optimal health. It's not based on how men felt in their prime. It's based on a statistical average of everyone who walked into a lab that year, including 70-year-olds, including men with obesity, including men with diabetes, sleep apnea, and chronic illness. The reference range isn't telling you what's healthy, it's telling you what's common. And common in a sick population isn't the same thing as optimal. The American Urological Association itself published guidelines stating that testosterone below 300 warrants investigation, but most labs set their lower limit at 264. Some go as low as 250. Why? Because every time they recalculate the average using newer population data, the average keeps dropping. Men today have significantly less testosterone than men 40 years ago. So instead of asking why, they just move the goalposts. Your grandfather at age 50 had testosterone levels that would put most 25-year-olds today to shame. And when you come in at 380, feeling like death, they tell you you're fine because you're above the new, lowered floor. ACT2, the hidden truth. Here's what they buried. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism tracked testosterone levels across generations. Not the same men aging over time, different men, same ages measured decades apart. What they found was disturbing. A 60-year-old man in 1987 had higher testosterone than a 60-year-old man in 2004. This wasn't about aging. This was about something changing in our environment, our food supply, our lifestyle. Population-wide testosterone has been declining at roughly 1% per year for decades. But here's where it gets sinister. Instead of sounding the alarm, labs adjusted their reference ranges downward to match the declining population. Think about that. If the entire country started going blind, would we just redefine 20/20 vision to mean whatever the average person can see? That's exactly what happened with testosterone. The 1980 reference ranges used by most labs put the lower limit around 350 to 400 nanograms per deciliter. By the early 2000s, that number had drifted down to around 300. Today, some labs use 250 or even 264 as the cutoff. This isn't medicine. This is statistical manipulation, and it has real consequences. When your testosterone comes back at 340, you're told you're normal. Your insurance denies TRT. Your doctor won't prescribe it. You're left suffering with symptoms that a simple hormone optimization could fix, because someone in a boardroom decided that your low but technically in-range result doesn't qualify as a disease. ACT3, the mechanism. Let's talk about what testosterone actually does, so you understand why this matters. Testosterone isn't just about muscles and sex drive. It's a master regulator. It affects your brain, your mood, your cardiovascular system, your bone density, your metabolism, and your ability to recover from stress. At the cellular level, testosterone binds to androgen receptors found in nearly every tissue in your body. When those receptors are activated, they trigger gene expression changes that promote protein synthesis, fat oxidation, red blood cell production, and neuroplasticity. Low testosterone doesn't just make you feel bad, it literally changes what your cells are capable of doing. Men with testosterone in the lower end of the reference range have higher rates of depression, anxiety, cardiovascular disease, and all-cause mortality. Studies have shown that men with testosterone below 350 have significantly higher rates of metabolic syndrome. The data is overwhelming. Testosterone isn't a vanity hormone, it's a survival hormone. And here's the part that should make you furious. The symptoms of low testosterone mimic dozens of other conditions. Depression, chronic fatigue, brain fog. Doctors hand out antidepressants, stimulants, and sleep medications like candy, treating symptoms while ignoring the root cause. Because if they actually tested your testosterone and found it low, they'd have to treat it. And treatment costs money. Insurance would rather you take 6 prescriptions than one hormone. ACT4 real-world application. So what do you actually do with this information? First, get tested. But don't stop at total testosterone. Request free testosterone, SHBG, LH, FSH, and estradiol. Total testosterone alone is meaningless without context. Your total might look fine while your free testosterone is tanked because SHBG is binding it all up. Second, test in the morning. Testosterone peaks between 7 and 10 a.m. If your doctor orders afternoon labs, your levels will read artificially low, or they'll miss how low you truly are in the morning when it matters most. Third, don't accept normal as an answer. Ask your doctor what your actual number is, not just whether it falls in range. A 25-year-old at 350 is not healthy, regardless of what the reference range says. Context matters. Fourth, understand your options. If your levels are genuinely low and you're symptomatic, testosterone replacement therapy exists. Clinics that specialize in hormone optimization often use different criteria than your primary care physician. They look at symptoms combined with labs, not just arbitrary cutoffs. Fifth, address the root causes. Sleep, diet, body composition, stress management, and environmental toxin exposure all impact testosterone. Optimize these first. But if your levels are still low despite perfect lifestyle, don't let anyone tell you to just accept it. ACT5, the bigger picture. Here's the uncomfortable truth. There's no money in healthy men. A man with optimized testosterone doesn't need antidepressants, doesn't need sleep aids, doesn't need metabolic drugs, doesn't need erectile dysfunction medication. Every symptom of low testosterone has a pharmaceutical band-aid that someone profits from. But actual hormone optimization, that's one treatment that fixes multiple problems. And that's bad for business. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. Reference ranges that guarantee most men will test as normal, even when they're suffering. Insurance policies that deny treatment based on those rigged ranges. Doctors who never learned to question the numbers they were handed. You deserve to know what optimal actually looks like. You deserve a doctor who treats you as an individual, not a data point on a population curve. And you deserve to feel like yourself again. The science is out there. They just don't want you finding it. That's why we're here. This is the Real Bio Protocol.